And now, let's move inside the car to help you become familiar with Corvette's state-of-the-art control and convenience features. Cutting-edge technology, precise instrumentation, a perfection of fit and finish, and rich materials all contribute to Corvette's refined atmosphere, where it's all about optimizing your driving experience. Using keyless access with push-button start eliminates conventional keys, lock cylinders, and door handles for outstanding convenience, contemporary looks, and improved aerodynamics. As long as your remote transmitter is within about 3 feet of the door switch, the door unlocks and unlatches from the outside when the driver touches the pad at the rear edge of the door. Inside, you simply push the door release button in the door trim pull handle to open the door. It all takes about 1/3 of a second. A light on top of the door panel remains on for a few seconds to indicate the doors are locked. When unlocked, the light flashes. To start your engine with an automatic transmission, make sure the vehicle is in park or neutral and step on the brake. With a manual transmission, fully depress the clutch pedal. Then push the top of the dash-mounted ignition button. When the engine begins cranking, release the button. And remember, the remote transmitter must be in the car for the engine to start. No transmitter, no engine power. Also note that some cell phone chargers can interfere with the push-button start system, so you may need to unplug your charger before starting the engine. Now, to turn off the engine, simply press the bottom of the ignition switch and hold it for 1 full second. So, wondering what you do in the unlikely event you lose vehicle electrical power or the remote's battery goes dead? It's really pretty simple. Just push the tab on your transmitter and pull out the metal master key attached to the key ring slot. If your vehicle has lost battery power, you can use the emergency key to access the interior via the emergency lock cylinder above the license plate. Once the hatch is open, you can open the doors and access the passenger compartment by pulling the door release handle located on the driver's side of the trunk. And if you lose electrical power when you're inside the car, there are emergency door release handles outboard of each seat. Also, if the transmitter battery is weak or dead, place the fob in the glove box transmitter pocket with the buttons facing toward the passenger side of the vehicle. Press the brake pedal or depress the clutch and press the start button. The vehicle will start. The transmitter battery should be replaced as soon as possible. The Driver Information Center will display a fob battery low every time the engine is started until the battery is replaced. You can find additional information on all of this in your owner manual. If a second driver regularly gets behind the wheel of your new Corvette, you will want to take full advantage of the available memory package and standard personalization features. With the available memory package, you can store in memory 2 driver settings for seat, steering column, and outside mirror positions, as well as separate easy exit seat positions. The standard personalization will store climate control, radio presets, and personalization options. The numbers 1 and 2 on the top of each keyless access transmitter correspond to the memory buttons located on the driver's door. To program each memory setting, first set the driver's seat, both outside mirrors, and the telescopic steering column for driver 1. Then press and hold the 1 button until you hear 2 beeps indicating the settings are programmed. We'll describe how to use the memory function to set the exit position in just a moment. To program custom settings for the second driver, simply repeat the procedure for button 2. Of course, to get the car to recognize the second key fob, the driver will first need to press a button on the second key fob so that the system acknowledges it. How you recall memory settings depends on what transmission you have. With the automatic, be sure the shifter is in park, then press and hold button number 1 or 2 until you hear a short beep. After a brief delay, the seat, column, and mirrors will move to their programmed positions. Recalling memory settings with a manual transmission works the same way, except the parking brake must be set if the vehicle is running. Now, with the Auto Memory Recall feature turned on through the Driver Information Center, or DIC, the seat, steering column, and mirrors will automatically move to their programmed positions when the engine is started. There's also an exit button used to program and recall each driver's easy exit seat position. To set an individual exit position, first recall the driving position for the person for whom the exit seat position is being set. Once everything has moved to the programmed driving position, reposition the seat and steering column for the most comfortable exit position. Then, press and hold the exit button until you hear 2 beeps indicating the exit position is programmed. You recall the exit position the same way you recall the driving positions. Just use the Easy Exit button on the driver's door instead of the memory buttons. Also, with the Auto Exit Recall feature turned on through the DIC, the seat and steering column will move to the exit positions when you use the transmitter to unlock the car, or when you turn off the engine and open the driver's door. Pretty handy. You can personalize a number of your Corvette's features, meaning these features can be set to operate differently for 2 separate drivers. With your car's standard personalization capabilities, some features are automatically updated and saved as the driver adjusts them. Things like radio presets, the last climate control setting, the position and dimming level of the head-up display, the instrument panel cluster dimming level, and last selected DIC display are all constantly updated and saved for Driver 1 and Driver 2, depending upon which keyless access transmitter is being used. Other features are set and controlled via the DIC using the Personal Options menu, which will be described in a moment. In either case, your Corvette knows which driver settings to use in one of 3 ways. Either the lock or unlock button on your keyless access transmitter is pressed, memory button 1 or 2 on the driver's door is pressed, or remote access transmitter 1 or 2 is detected when the door is opened. And should your car detect both keyless access transmitters when the door is opened, the memory system defaults to driver number 1. So, how do you personalize features using the Driver Information Center? Let's start with a brief overview of the DIC. The Driver Information Center does exactly what the name implies. Provide the driver with a wealth of important information about a number of your Corvette's advanced features, systems, and components. For example, the DIC keeps you informed about tire pressures. You can view the pressures at any time, and the DIC will warn you anytime a tire's pressure drops below 24 psi or goes above 42 psi. Be sure to remember that tire pressure normally decreases during cold temperatures by as much as 4 pounds per tire, and can increase by as much as 4 pounds per tire when they're hot. This means that if you keep the tire pressures at 30 pounds or less and the outside temperature drops, that the low pressure warning lamp could come on until the tires warm up. So be sure to recheck the tire pressures using the DIC after approximately 15 minutes of driving. This will allow time for the tires to warm up and the pressures to regulate. To help avoid this, you may want to increase air pressure in the tires to 32 pounds during cold weather conditions. In fact, the DIC gives you the status of a number of critical vehicle systems. It also displays warning or status messages and provides access to that impressive array of driver personalization features. The display is centered within the instrument panel cluster, directly above the steering column, while its control buttons are located on the instrument panel to the right of the steering wheel. When the ignition is turned on, the DIC first displays Corvette by Chevrolet before showing the current driver and the information last displayed when the engine was turned off. Anytime a problem is detected, a message is displayed on the DIC. Take all DIC messages seriously. Remember that clearing the message makes the message disappear, not the problem. Access the DIC modes via the control buttons on the instrument panel. The Fuel button accesses information on average fuel economy, instantaneous fuel economy, and available range. The Gauges button displays gauge information like oil pressure, oil, coolant, and automatic transmission fluid temperatures, battery voltage, and front and rear tire pressures. The Trip button displays your total and trip miles, elapsed time function, average speed, and engine oil life. The Option button gives you access to the personalization options such as door locks, language, easy entry seats, and so on. The Reset button works in conjunction with the other buttons to reset system functions, select personal options, and turn off or acknowledge DIC messages. You can use the DIC to personalize everything from display units, which allows you to choose between English and metric, to approach lights, twilight sentinel, flash at lock and or unlock, fob reminder, passive door locking and unlocking, auto unlock, language, personal name display, and more. To access the personalization menu options, first turn your vehicle on and, depending on the transmission, leave the automatic shifter in park or apply the parking brake with the manual shifter in neutral. Next, press the Option button to enter the Personal Options menu. The DIC will first show the current driver number or name for a few seconds before displaying instructions on what buttons to use to choose personalization settings. You'll use the Reset button to choose a setting for a given feature, and the Option button to move to the next feature. With the instruction screen displayed, press the Option button to move to the first personalization menu item. Note that every time you press the Option button, any changes you made to that feature's settings are stored, and you move on to the next feature. You can type in a name or greeting for two separate drivers by pressing the Option button until the Personalize Name option appears. Select Yes by pressing the Reset button. Now, press the Option button and a cursor will appear on the DIC display. Press Option repeatedly until the letter you want is displayed, then press Reset to select it. The display is self-centering. Refer to your owner manual on how to enter up to 20 characters. Once you've cycled through all the features, pressing the Options button exits the menu. Also, keep in mind that if no button is pressed within approximately 45 seconds, the DIC automatically exits the Personal Options menu. While we're discussing the DIC, here's a helpful hint. To avoid locking your passenger inside when you walk away from the car with the key fob, be sure to either turn your passive door locking feature off or simply press the unlock switch on the door or the fob. That's just an overview of your car's driver information center and how the personalization features work. So when you have a chance, please take the time to review the DIC information in your owner manual. There, you'll learn how to get the most out of this invaluable feature. If your Corvette is equipped with the optional head-up display, or HUD, you can take advantage of advanced fighter jet technology to help you keep your eyes on the road. The HUD projects specific information directly onto the windshield, just below your line of sight to the road. The numeric information, which can be in either English or metric, appears as an image focused out toward the front of your vehicle. You can display a variety of information, depending upon the mode selected. You can even display turn-by-turn directions if you have the navigation system. The HUD offers 3 modes, including Street Mode, which supports both audio and navigation functions, with your choice of tachometer display styles. Track Mode 1 supports a real-time G-force gauge, minor gauges, and a circular tachometer. A second Track Mode view is also available, providing a linear rather than circular tachometer. You can use the HUD system controls, which are located to the left of the steering wheel, to further customize the display once you've picked a mode, as well as to adjust brightness and location. For example, the Page button allows you to customize the HUD modes as they are being displayed. For more information on how to set up the HUD, adjust its position and brightness, select a mode and customize the display, refer to your owner manual for details.
Many times we get put up against these cars with $20,000 worth of interior options, but now we have a much more affordable alternative with the Corvette with a new custom leather-wrapped interior, which brings us up on a par with the best sports cars in the world. So now there is no excuses.
Obviously the fit and finish, we paid particular attention to the use of color, graphics. The materials are much improved. The fit and finish, the gap tolerances are down to a millimeter, in some cases less. The gloss level is very low, so it creates a much richer sense of quality. The graphics are laid out to, again, enhance the twin cockpit wraparound feeling, plus also add a more enhanced level of personality to it.
One of the critical requirements of any high-performance sports car are seats that keep you comfortable yet secure. The seats in your Corvette use a 2-layer composite seat frame supported by an aluminum base that provides an outstanding structure designed for performance driving. If you're driving with standard seats, you have 6-way power adjustment with manual recline control on the driver's side. Both controls are located on the outboard side of the seat cushion. To adjust the seat, move the front of the seat controller up or down to adjust the front portion of the seat cushion, and move the rear portion of the controller to adjust the rear of the seat cushion. To move the entire seat forward or rearward, simply push the seat controller forward or back. If your car is equipped with sport seats, The passenger side is also 6-way power adjustable, and the controller works just like the driver's side. By the way, all seats have leather seating surfaces. Now, to recline either seat, first lift your weight off the seat back. Next, pull the lever up until it stops. Then lean back to position the seat back where you want it and release the lever. The seat back is now locked in position. The sports seats also come with power lumbar and lateral side bolsters. Their controls are also located on the outboard side of the seat cushion. Pressing the vertical lumbar control switch forward increases support, while pushing it rearward decreases support. Side bolsters are the wings located on each side of the seat back. They should be adjusted to provide your back lateral support during hard cornering maneuvers. To move the wings in closer to you, pull the switch up. To move the wings away from you, push the switch down. Standard Z06 and ZR1 seating emphasizes a low-mass design for the performance enthusiast who is more interested in keeping the car's weight to a minimum rather than adding extra features. This driver's seat includes power 6-way controls. If your Corvette has heated seats, the controls are located on the center console. There's 3 settings: high, low, and off. You'll find complete operating information as well as additional information on all your seat's features in the owner manual.